This guy needs no introduction. You've been following me for a while. You've been following along with him, or maybe vice versa. Keith Beasley, Canada in the Rough, and met him here at the Canadian Shooting Sports Association annual general meeting. We're going to grab dinner in a bit, but let's talk right now about how to grab dinner. You gave a talk where I was like, wow, he's really standing up for the traditions in this country, and that includes hunting. In the story of your little boy being chastised at school really struck with me. Fill me in on that.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, tradition's everything for us. I mean, I don't believe the country did it wrong 100 years ago. I don't think we should apologize for Christmas or for our national anthem or for hunting or believing in a God.
Oh, but no, we should. I mean, we just had Richmond Hill, Ontario, to be told by their legal department that because of the Supreme Court, Canada might be unconstitutional.
Yep, and my city just talked about it, removing the national anthem from City Hall in Peterborough. So it hurts my heart, to be honest with you. I'm proud.
So it's no wonder then that hunting is
a hot button, and it's an easy target, right? It's an easy dart to throw.
Mm.
So, my wife and I are the proud parents of 4 beautiful kids and one on the way, and it's important to us to raise them right and what we see as right. And luckily, as parents, I get to make that decision. Well, what I see as right is teaching them right from wrong and to be good people, but to enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the culture and the history that built this country, and that's hunting and fishing and working hard. And my little guy, he sees hunting as something our family does. He sees it as part of our family. Daddy makes a living doing it, we feed our family doing it, and he loves to do it with me. He just went and filmed a show with me, he and his other brother, where we shot a turkey and we made a Can of the Rough episode about it. So I sent a bullet to school with him. Not a live bullet.
Okay, yeah, let's clarify there.
An empty cartridge, so just a piece of metal.
So the casing.
Yeah, it's silver, and it's the casing, empty, can't be fired again, nothing left in it, just the casing. And just like a bottle cap or a beer cap, it's no different. It once contained something, now it doesn't. And it's silver, kind of like the silver bullet from the old Ranger, the Lone Ranger. And Daddy shot a big moose on Can of the Rough in the mountains of British Columbia with it. So my little guy's proud as punch with this casing, and he took it to school and wasn't so well received, and had the feeling that at home they did the wrong thing.
And I can understand, and you probably could as well, if you took a full round to school.
Absolutely.
I can see teachers being bothered by it. Now, I mean, it'd be very difficult for him to do anything with that if he didn't have a gun.
Sure.
And it'd be very worrisome if he had a gun. But this is a casing.
Yep.
It's an inert piece of metal.
Just a piece of metal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was basically chastised, told, not a good kid. We don't need to go into the whole story of what happened with you and negotiating and talking to the principal and so on, but that is telling, isn't it?
Yeah, because that symbol represented something bad. And that's where we've gone, right? And we could point the finger to lots of people who have got us here, but as a society or a culture, we've pulled away from what used to be celebrated, and it's become a topic that we're scared to approach. There's high political people, high political athletes that are high-rating athletes that are afraid to put their name on hunting right now because of the media playback or the public's feedback that it might be considered wrong. And Brian, 100 years ago, people weren't embarrassed or afraid to say they harvested deer with a musket, fed their family with it. Now it's becoming a bit of a taboo or a bad word, and I'm against that. I'm promoting back the traditions and not apologizing.
Okay, so how do you change the channel then? Because whether it's Bambi or other movies or just a perception, I've got 4 kids as well. My 2 girls are tweens, and everybody I know that has girls that age, eventually their daughters end up being vegetarians at some point. I'm worried I'm going to have to deal with that. And they go that route mainly because they get the stories about how killing an animal is bad. And to them, it's killing an animal, whether it's hunting or at the butcher shop in the supermarket. So how do you change the channel there?
Well, first off, we rely on people like you that have a voice, and everybody listening to this, we encourage them to continually tell the proper story, that hunters aren't bad people, that harvesting an animal feeds a family healthy, organic, clean meat, and that eating meat doesn't necessarily mean some animal suffered. And as a hunter, we love nature, we love wildlife, and we're there to preserve it and sustain it and watch it grow. And hunting is an essential part of that, as science has proven and as hunting has proven.
All right, so do hunters need to speak out then, not in a political way, but just tell their story around the kitchen table or in their social setting? Because we've talked. I don't hunt. I'm plan on it one day, you know, when I have time, and I'm not against it. But I also grew up around hunters who explained all of this to me.
Sure.
The old guys in the neighborhood that would go hunting and would say, no, you got it wrong. And just like you do, we do it responsibly. And if you don't do it responsibly, then yeah, you're a bad dude, but that's not what hunting is.
Yeah, that bad dude's a criminal, not a hunter, right?
Yeah, and so, but do hunters have to stop being shy and embarrassed?
Yes, flat out. Flat out. We need to speak up positively and kindly and professionally, even if we're not professionals, to represent hunting better. Because for decades, us hunters have taken for granted what we've done because we didn't see it as bad. You know, we didn't feel the need to defend it or voice it. Now that a culture shifted and seen it as bad, we forgot to keep up with the times and encourage and re-educate on what it's about. The same as our national anthem that's being pulled out of City Hall, or Christmas trees that are being pulled out of government offices, or Christmas assemblies are taken to my kid's school because it's not a good term, so now it's a holiday assembly. We forgot that we needed to defend all the things along because we thought it was okay and part of our culture, and then wham, a group said no, and people are trying to bow down to the one group rather than to the masses, and we removed it. So now hunters, we still are a majority. Don't be afraid to explain and educate properly and kindly why we hunt and the reason we do it, and don't be afraid of it. With proper education to anybody, how can you argue with me hunting organic, clean meat to feed my family, taking one deer out of 30,000 to feed my family, as long as it means the rest will survive and be okay? That's part of the package and part of green, clean, organic, renewable resources here in Canada.
Yeah, I'm surprised the whole organic thing hasn't caught on and helped you. I remember a few years ago, Justin Trudeau got in trouble in the media because he sent out a Christmas card. He and his family were, beautiful young family. They just celebrated their 10-year anniversary, so congratulations to them. But they were all in Canada Goose jackets. Very fashionable jackets now, but they've got, you might be able to tell me what kind of fur. They got fur along the hood.
Usually that's coyote.
Okay, so they got, probably is. So they got fur around the hood, and people were outraged that he would do this. And I got asked to go on radio shows talking about it, and people thought, well, Brian is, more on the right politically, he'll denounce it. I said, no. Why? This country was built on the fur trade. Why should anybody be bothered by a jacket with some fur on it?
Yep, and remember, it's managed and controlled by government agencies and biologists. So the same guy that'll complain and tell him that will also drive his $800,000 boat down the Trent-Severn waterway. But if he gets stopped one day and stuck because there's a beaver dam in the way, would ask a government official to get rid of that beaver. Now, is he going to ask it to be taken to a zoo, or is he going to ask it to be taken care of and not, so it doesn't wreck his travel route for his $1 million boat? And that's what we're getting into, right? It's ignorance and it's lack of education. The fur industry, or fur on Trudeau's jacket, is a managed industry like any other one. Those are taken out when herds allow or species allow and used as a renewable resource. And that's what the fur industry does, that's what the hunting industry does, that's what we all do. And that's what farmers do. I mean, animals, cows, chickens, and pigs are raised to be harvested and eaten by people to help our society, but continually restocking itself to keep it alive and well. And if we quit eating meat or quit eating fur, it'll all kind of break itself, because no one's going to raise pigs, cows, and chickens for free.
No.
Just to watch them walk around their yard and feed them for free. We're raising them to be eaten, so people want them to go extinct too, and that's where we're at. I mean, we've fallen quite far from where we used to be, and I find it troubling.
Well, maybe we can change that around. You'll be on that route. Good talking to you as always.
Thank you, Brian.